もう死んでいる。何？
Hey, John Rowe.
The topic of a
We do a
podcast
podcast.
together,
We should do a
and I'm
podcast.
excited.
お前はもう死んでいる。何？
Hey, John. Hey, John Rowe. We should do a podcast.
The topic of a podcast together, and honestly, I'm excited.
G'day, dorks, and welcome into Lords of Dorktown. I'm your host, Philip. Thank you for joining me. Joining me in the studio tonight is a lovely lad. He's been on here a bunch. You know him, you love him. Tyson, how are you, Tayo?
Really well, thanks, mate. How are you?
Mate, I'm doing good, It's been a really kind of interesting, fun week for me. I did my yearly deep dive into alien abductions and conspiracy theories.
Well, you only do that once a year.
I can't do it more than once. Hey, so I started off with the do you know the Betty and Barney abduction case, like the first big abduction case in the States?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I started off reading into that, and then I ended up in a JFK wormhole for ages, and then
Nice.
I think I finished off the whole thing with a big deep dive into skinwalkers in America. So
Oh, Skinwalker Ranch is...
Skinwalker Ranch is amazing. But yeah, I haven't slept real great for the last week. No idea why. What's been going on with you, Tyre?
Oh, not too much. Just recently went out on a holiday to Lightning Ridge, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, home of the opal.
Yeah, home of the black opal.
That's the only thing I know about Lightning Ridge is that opals come from there. Where is it actually? It's like
Far north west, New South Wales.
so yeah, it's like super duper inland, isn't it?
It took 8 hours from around about here. 8 hours from the mid-north coast.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been that far inland. I think
No.
Tamworth is as far as I've gone, and it's like well past that, isn't it?
Tamworth.
Fucking hate Tamworth.
Tamworth.
Tamworth. Am I saying it wrong?
Well, no. Well, yes.
No.
It should be said Tamworth.
Tamworth. What am I saying?
Tamworth. You're saying Tamworth, which is how it's written, how it should be
Oh,
pronounced.
yeah. I'm
Just
bad
like
for that.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we say Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Melbourne.
It's
I'm
Tamworth.
honestly surprised. Like, by the way, Ty, this is episode 10, double digits, mate. We've made it. Woohoo!
Thanks to all 10 of you who listen too.
Oh, mate, there's more than that. Shout out to Ashburns in the United States, wherever that is, for our weird 200 listeners in Ashburns or whatever it is.
Oh, what, one area?
One area is just popping off. So
Fuck
yeah.
Whoever
Whoever
spread that
owns
around
the
town.
170 phones in Ashburn and has downloaded this podcast on every single one of them, shout out.
Fuck yeah. Thanks, Cobber.
But yeah, 10 episodes and I'm still only being pulled up on pronunciation like once or twice.
Awesome.
I honestly thought I'd be burned at the stake from by now,
Yeah.
just from weeaboos on the internet just killing me.
I can't believe I've been pulled up.
Yeah, you got pulled
Yeah.
up before me too.
I apologise.
Oh,
I
brutal.
apologise.
Craig too. Shout out, Craig. I got a bit of news up top this week. A few big things have happened. So the Demon Slayer movie released in Japan over the last couple of days,
Dope.
and it has grossed 44 milli already.
Nice.
So yeah, it's
Take
breaking
that, Sonic.
it's breaking records, like legitimate records,
Take that,
smashing it.
Mulan.
Oh yeah, fuck Disney. You're weird. Did you
Unless
see?
you want to sponsor us.
No, but did you see how they released Mulan
No.
on Disney Plus? But you had to pay for it, so you had to have a subscription to Disney Plus and also pay for a digital copy
That's ridiculous.
that you didn't get to keep.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong on that one. Maybe you did get to keep it.
I doubt it. It seems like, oh, this is your ticket to go see it at
It was
the
so
cinema.
gross.
But yeah. No, I refused to watch that because Mulan was my favourite VHS that I owned from.
Oh yeah,
early
Amelia
2002.
loves Mulan.
Yeah. So
Even my kids love Mulan. I can't believe they took out the music. It was wild. The singing.
let's get down to business. Went and saw.
I'll make a man out of you. Oh
yeah.
man.
Went and saw Disney on Ice. I
Oh,
was sitting
really?
There with the girls. Yeah, this was a while ago. And the whole first half, I was like, oh yeah, this is cool choreography. Just
Yeah.
sitting there, like really, like step back observing it. And then the second half came in and they did Mulan. and I lost my shit, and I was like embarrassed the girls.
Were you
Somehow, just screaming. Yeah.
were you on that I was about to say field trip, but that sounds weird. That excursion we did in high school where we saw Wicked the musical.
Yeah.
Were you? Yeah, you were there with her. How good was Wicked the musical?
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
about.
awesome.
I weirdly think about that all the time.
Me too.
It
I
was
think
so good.
poor Amber has probably heard me mention it quite a lot of times.
Oh, I talk
It's
about it all the
I
time.
broke Bert Newton's focus by perfectly
Oh.
timing a wolf whistle.
I remember
Made him
that
smirk.
because we were like up in the nosebleed sections.
Yeah.
We were back.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think about that all the time.
Yeah. Great excursion.
That was a good excursion. So yeah, Demon Slayer grossing 44 million in Japan. It's also, it's going to track to make a fair bit more money when it releases in the States and here too. So
Yeah.
that's really good. It's good to see an anime movie just smashing records, especially
it's
in
awesome.
a year where there hasn't been much dropping at the cinemas due to the Rona and whatnot. We also got, I think this was last week. Have you watched the series Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts?
No, but I did see that it is on Netflix. And it was
Yeah, so season 3 just dropped. So the first 2 seasons I've watched twice now, I think. Mate, it's such a great series. It's breathtakingly good and underappreciated, I feel. The soundtrack alone is worth... Like, I've listened to the soundtrack multiple times. It's so good. But yeah, so a third season of that, which is good, and I haven't started it yet, but it's looking pretty sweet. I think you should go in on that. I really think you would enjoy it.
Yeah, awesome. I'll have to check it out.
It's got a cool kind of really like pastel aesthetic. Everything's like kind of bright and funky colored, and yeah, just amazing soundtrack. Like way too good than it deserves to be.
I love myself a good soundtrack.
And it's the kind of soundtrack that you'll put on for like maybe 5 or 6, like you'll put it on your playlists, and anytime it comes on, you'll listen to it. Like I've never skipped one of their songs on a playlist.
That was another big bone I had to pick with the Last Airbender M. Night Shyamalan shit show. Was the fact that they totally got rid of the whole score. There was none of that.
All the drums and stuff. Oh man, I love that soundtrack. So good. Yeah, they got rid of that for the movie too. That was wild.
And just put in shitty basic Hollywood score.
Yeah.
Which is, assuming what they did with Mulan.
Yeah, probably. Those Disney
Trash.
live action ones, like did you watch the Lion King one? Had a pretty decent score, but it kind of had to.
I passed out through The Lion King because I was suffering from severe appendicitis.
Been there, brother.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yeah. Yeah, just before you.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was, not 5 months before you got
That's
yours
so
out.
crazy.
And yeah, I was just in the cinema and was like, I don't feel too crash hot. I'm going to pass out. Yeah.
That's a good one to pass. That's a good movie to pass out. Pass out to. We also got. This is just more cartoon news that I honestly think I'm the only person that cares about it. We got a new trailer for the next season of DuckTales with Darkwing Duck in it.
I've not even heard of
DuckTales. So DuckTales originally was a cartoon, I think from the late 80s, early 90s, with Huey, Dewey, and Louie, which were the grandsons of Donald Duck.
Yeah.
And they've redone a remake. They've done a remake in the last 3 or 4 years with 2 seasons of DuckTales, and it's a kid show. Like it's more of a kid show than probably Kipo or Avatar. Like it's a definite. But I fucking love it. Hey, the remake of DuckTales. If anyone out there listening to anyone has watched DuckTales, please get in contact with me so I can talk to another human being
so
about
you can
DuckTales.
Justify doing an episode.
Oh, it's so good.
Wants to.
It's so good. But yeah, Darkwing Duck. Do you know who Darkwing Duck is? It's the Batman ripoff for DuckTales.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, trailer announcing Darkwing Duck will be in the next season.
Did you watch the Mighty Ducks?
The animated series?
Yeah, the animated, not
yeah.
the douchebag hockey players.
Excuse me. Mate, I'll knuckle puck you across this table. The Mighty Ducks movie was amazing. It was like my favorite sports movie. It's the only sports movie I think I've watched. Oh, no, there's a fighting movie that I watched like a bunch, but I don't know if that's Never Back Down. For some reason, I've seen that movie maybe 15 times.
That's what you were going to say.
But yeah,
got that dreamboat from American Horror Story in it.
Yeah. And that the African guy who's also he's in like a whole slate of just random movies. He was also in Captain Marvel. God. It's going to bother me till I find his name. But anyway, you're talking about the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
The animated series.
It's cool.
It is cool.
I would love to rewatch
Right for
that
a
again.
remake.
Yeah.
I've kind of been holding off going in like really heavy into a lot of old school cartoons. I really wanted to go in on Gargoyles a few months back.
Oh, I forgot that existed.
It's
yes.
Because I thought, like, it's probably just one of those things that I've hyped up in my head, and it's probably so. I watched a few episodes with Teddy, thinking, he'll like it. I'll get some nostalgia. It holds up, man.
Yeah, awesome.
It's still good.
Yeah.
That really great kind of animation style too. That's like,
that era had some good stuff.
oh, amazing stuff. And in the last bit of news, well, it's not news, it's only news related to this podcast, but because we've hit 10 episodes, we've decided that we're going to follow up on some of the previous episodes we've done with some part twos. So we're going to have a part 2 of Castlevania coming out.
Fuck yeah.
Part 2 of Seven Deadly Sins.
So keen to discuss season 3 of Castlevania.
Yeah, I'm so keen for a rewatch.
Anyone who's listening hasn't seen it, go and watch it. And if you've seen the first bit and didn't like it, season 3, it just keeps getting better and better. That show, season 3 is amazing.
Yeah, season 3 is hands down the best season.
Some arcs really start to develop. Like there's a lot of stuff sort of really gets its claws in.
Yeah, almost makes season 1 and 2 look like an intro season.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is weird because 2's got so much in it. But season 3 is... So so follow-up episodes on Castlevania, Seven Deadly Sins, My Hero, and maybe an Attack on Titan one.
Oh yeah, cool.
But yeah, we'll be doing a bunch of part 2s on our previous episodes. So yeah, if you're watching along with us, make sure you brush up on those ones. And get onto the socials because we post what we're gonna what the episode on the Friday is gonna be on the Monday. So you've got almost a week to watch everything that we're gonna talk about.
Get yourself hyped.
Yeah. Which is, I think that's a good way to do it.
Can I just say sorry? I'm a little bit distracted because this is the first time Amber's been here and she's going through a box of stickers and she's showing Franklin the dog to see what his opinions are on them. She keeps.
Is he yet to hate any of them, Amber?
Yeah, he didn't like.
Oh, what? Franklin.
Yeah, he doesn't like some.
It's so often that dogs on this podcast derail this podcast.
Is it derailing or is it adding to it?
Do you remember
dogs are awesome?
Do you remember the shortest podcast we ever recorded?
Yeah, of
it was
course.
like 2 minutes, and
Like,
then
there's a dog here.
and a dog rocked. I might see if I've still got that file somewhere. But we literally recorded a podcast that was like 2 minutes long because as soon as we started it, a puppy arrived and we all lost our minds.
Yeah.
I think I've got a good photo of you with that dog. Actually, we'll post that this week.
She had such a cute little face.
Oh, such a fat, chubby face. God, it was a cute dog.
Yeah.
But let's not get distracted with dogs because it's time to chow down on the main meat of this episode.
Ooh, something I've been so excited to
Oh
talk
man,
about.
I wasn't as excited as you going into it because I've been on a real anime binge lately, and I was kind of like didn't want to break the streak, but boy, I'm glad I watched this show. So we were talking about the Cartoon Network series. No, it is a Cartoon Network series.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network series, Close Enough. The series revolves around a couple who are in their early 30s with their 5-year-old daughter and their divorced friends who live with them in a Los Angeles duplex. As in regular show, what seems like normal domestic crises usually escalates into surreal, often science fiction ways. So that's kind of all the synopsis you need going into this series.
Yeah.
So-
Amazing. I have a huge boner for everything JG Quintel does.
Yeah, so this is
He's
his
amazing.
this is his follow-up series after regular show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so close enough. So yeah, starring JG Quintel as director, writer, and main voice actor as Josh.
Which is such an awesome set of initials.
Oh,
J-
it's a great
JG
name.
Quintel.
It's a Hall of Famer name. You know how much I would kill for it? I literally legally changed my last name. I could have changed it to everything. I don't like anything. I don't know why I didn't go as baller as Quintel.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
got such
and
a ring to it.
I like the two initials at the start.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like the initials at the start. Like if I ever did something like writing or whatever, I'd be TH Thompson.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
I'd be PG Riot.
PG Riot. Everyone's keeping their shirts on.
We're not swearing. Demonstrate peacefully. This series has a great voice actor cast. Actually, I just want to go through the voice actor cast before we get into it. But one of my favorite comedy actors of the last couple of years with Jason. I definitely can't pronounce his last name. From Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who was also on The Good Place.
He's also in what's that?
The Dictator, Lego Batman, The House,
The
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth.
Oh, he's also in DuckTales too, which is wild.
He's amazing. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I love him, and he's definitely been in like all the big sitcoms of the last couple years. Like
yeah, he's
Brooklyn
definitely
Nine-Nine.
been pigeonholed. Like he plays the same character.
yeah,
You
Which-
have to imagine that is what he's like.
yeah. Well, I think I first stumbled onto him from Parks and Rec. Was the first time I remember seeing him, and I was like, I really love this character.
Yeah.
And then he popped up in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is like, I don't need to hype up Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Who doesn't know what Brooklyn Nine-Nine is? It's the best sitcom ever made in the last 10 years. I don't want Seinfeld fans fucking barking at me.
Seinfeld sucks.
Seinfeld's fine. Also, Kimiko Glenn is in there. Is in the cast as well.
Who's from Orange is the New Black,
Yep.
most notably. There's two Orange is the New Black.
Who's the other one?
The-
Danielle.
yeah.
Yep. Who plays Pearl? Danielle. God, these last names are ruining me.
Brooks.
Oh, it is Brooks. Sorry. I committed to the last name being bad before the internet page loaded. We also have Jessica Daikiko in this cast as well, who is the voice of Candace, who I think does a really good job as Candace's voice
Being
actor.
a child, yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't- I-
really good.
Yeah, it blew my mind.
And also Gabrielle Walsh as Emily. So they're the main kind of cast that we deal with in this series, and I honestly think there's not a weak one in them. Like
Yeah.
it's such a great voice acting cast from start to finish.
It is an amazing, amazing cartoon. Like
Hmm.
it is fucking phenomenal.
So let's get into it, mate. What did you think of this series? Well, like,
Well, as everyone already would know, I love Regular Show.
Yeah.
Like so much. I love Quintel's approach at like the Regular Show. He made something that parents could enjoy watching with their kids, like he watched when he was a kid.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's the voices aren't too abrasive. Like a lot of cartoon voices, when like,
no, yeah.
Like-
I found all the voices in this one pretty. As we've already talked about the voice cast, but yeah,
Yeah.
everything was great. Yeah,
as with Regular Show, he tried really hard not to make anything too over the top. I love that Josh looks just like him. Like the character he made looks just like him. Like the long nose, the hair, the tall frailness, just the same as Mordecai, who is based very similar off him, like being tall, and they gave him a beak and everything. Like
Yeah.
I just love. I loved that. Like I really loved that Josh looks just like him. I found it awesomely relatable, as you probably would as a young parent.
yeah, definitely.
There's this one moment where Candace is watching the unboxing.
Oh my
videos.
God. Yep.
Yeah. And Josh is like, oh, but you have this toy right there. And it's like, this is better.
Yeah.
One time I was in the Lego room that we have, because we have a room for Lego.
Who
I was
doesn't?
in the Lego room and Mally came in and sat at a desk and started playing unboxing, which was like such a, like how we play different games as a kid. She was like sat there and pulled out something, this crafty thing that Amber had, was like, oh, look, and there's this stuff in it and that stuff. So that unboxing thing just, yeah, was just so real for me. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, like it really goes like I think it definitely plays to a lot of themes of like a young parents and, you know, mid-20s, early 30s kind of life as an adult and kind of dealing with this new world. I think those moments were the best of this series, and I think any time where it strayed a bit away from that, I found myself lagging in kind of engagement. Because I'm not as big of a fan as regular show as you are. Like, I like it. I think, you know, it's definitely a good, funny cartoon. Like, there's some great characters in there. Mordecai and Rigby are like just a great comedic duo in a series. And yeah, I really do like it. But I do find a little bit of Quintel's work a bit on the nose sometimes. I find a bit of it just a bit not my flavour, but the parts that are like hit me dead. The special shout out to the Skate Dad episode, which
good.
I think I've watched like 4 times now because it's so fun. There's so many good gags in that, and it's
wall to wall. I love the explosions.
Yeah,
I love the use of explosions in this. It's
that's a like a kind of a hallmark of Quintel throughout his whole kind of like animation history, because his filmography, like he's basically raised a generation of kids on cartoons. So he's done work on the Clone Wars, Camp Lazlo. Do you remember the show Camp Lazlo? I fucking loved Camp Lazlo. He did work on Phineas and Ferb, which is one of...
Wow.
Do you remember how much Phineas and Ferb we used to watch back in the day?
Yeah. you mostly, but yeah.
I lived for Phineas and Ferb. He's done The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, which is a series you've been begging me to watch.
Oh, man, I know.
Actually...
You can see the animation style developing from Flapjack to regular show. Like, it's got that Ren and Stimpy close-up type. Like,
yeah, well, he basically did Flapjack and then straight on to Adventure Time, regular show, The Amazing World of Gumball, which is an underrated series in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
That series has some breathtaking comedic moments in it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's amazing.
Gotta love that series. And then, Close Enough to is his latest project, and he's nailed this one. Like, as much as I say that there's parts that fall flat for me, on a whole, this one, like, it's nailed. Like, it's so good. Yeah,
it's really cool to see him out of the age parameter that regular show kept him in, because there's this whole, like, oh, we're chilling and grilling, but they're like cooking sausages.
Yeah.
And they're like drinking the sodas and all of that. Like, those sorts of subtle hints. And now here they can actually be, like, I like the little Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas gag where
that was good actually.
Yeah, when there's uppers, downers, screamers, like it's the more overt, and that Logan's Run episode when they're in the club and they feed him the pinger and he's like,
Logan's Run episode was actually a fucking banger.
Yeah, I love it.
This I wanted to ask you mainly, what did you think? Do you think this show can stand alone if you haven't watched the regular show?
Definitely.
You think so?
Definitely.
Okay.
Because I showed my mate Luke,
Yep.
and he doesn't really like cartoons. Well, he does. He doesn't watch cartoons like
us.
Yeah. Well, he likes Young Justice and like DC animated stuff. So it's a different flavor to these like comedy cartoons. And I showed him the other day. I think I started with the Logan's Run episode.
Oh,
And he
really?
was just pissing himself.
Yeah. See, that's something I want to talk about too. Actually, the way this series kicks off its episodes. So it's the first one is the episode Guilty Pleasure, which is probably one of the weirdest kind of obscure episodes that they do. So it has that whole orphan kids that turn into adults section.
So good.
It's a good episode, but it's a good episode. I wish they didn't start on it because it immediately put me on the back foot to be like, oh, okay, here we go, regular show round
Really?
2. Yeah,
What?
and it wasn't, and then it goes into the Perfect House episode, which has some really great gags in it, but again is like really existential and kind of sci-fi supernatural.
Yeah.
And then, so you get those first 2 episodes, which are kind of really weird and obscure.
Just a little note on that Perfect House episode. Mona, Arizona.
The Hannah Montana
The
gag.
Hannah Montana
it's
gag.
so
Yeah.
good.
Which is something I forgot to mention in the Dipper and Mabel.
Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls episode was there like Baba, like instead of ABBA.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the Legally Safe Dancing Queen ripoff that
Yeah.
they had. Like, yeah,
That was pretty good,
Mona,
actually.
Arizona. I just like bad play on words like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And this show has plenty of those, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Also, in that episode, when they're looking at different houses and they flash up, one is the house from regular show.
Really, and I also noticed. Did you notice the introduction song? There's a shadow of
Pops?
a shadow of Mordecai and Rigby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see their shadow, which I saw immediately, and I was like, okay, here we go.
There's another awesome one in the Cool Mums episode. I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, I loved Cool Mums.
Yeah.
Cool Mums was hands down one of my favorite episodes.
There's the I'm excellent hat that they have. And another great gag that had Luke pissing himself too in that episode is that when the pterodactyl comes to life, like, let's discuss the word of God, and then it cuts to him the next thing, and he's like, and that's why adultery is my favorite reason to stone women. Like, I fucking loved that bit.
Yeah, no, that was actually pretty good. So like Cool Mums, Skate Dad, Snailing It.
Oh, Noel Fielding, fucking
So
love
good.
that guy.
But like,
Watch the Mighty Boosh, everyone.
yeah, Mighty Boosh is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many episodes. I'm looking at the episode list. There's so many episodes that stand out, but there's also ones where I kind of just didn't like. Golden Gamer, I thought was just a regular show episode. That just felt like a regular show episode.
Yeah.
There was nothing for me that was anyway close enough. It was all just regular show.
Yeah, that definitely...
That felt like the most Quintel episode of the series.
Probably my least favorite episode. I think the one thing that really defines it is that they couldn't see the gamer character on the bike with Josh.
Yeah.
And that's just not big enough of a difference, really.
Yeah,
Like, that is
exactly.
definitely, yeah.
That's kind of my biggest gripe with this series is that everything, when the moments like that make it so similar to regular show and all the work he's done before that it feels like it just kind of fades into this Quintelliverse where everything's animated the same and everything kind of looks the same, and it doesn't help that he voices both main characters.
Yeah.
But
There's
I can't think of anyone else who would be good as the Josh voice.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
There's no animals or gumball
No,
machines
yeah.
and stuff walking around.
It's
So,
definitely
like,
more grounded, but yeah.
Yeah. But no, I love it. I love that formula. I loved even Gravity Falls had a similar sort of formula where like it starts out real and gets surreal.
Yeah.
But
It is a good formula for being interesting for a long time. Like
Yeah.
this, it's only 8 episodes.
I know.
It could have been double that and I would have watched it. It could have been triple that and I don't think I would have got bored of it because, as you said, starting real and getting surreal is engaging. It's an engaging, it's an engaging way to do a show.
Yeah. And people do like more of the same. Like, but you saw with the later things of regular show, it started to get a bit overdone. And then
It was
went
so
to,
meta at the end.
like,
It was,
and then they had the dome, and then they went to space, and there was all of this. Like it got to a point where they were openly like, well, you see, the Simpsons, like they're
Yeah.
trying to run themselves into the ground because people are like, oh, more of the same, and they're
Yeah.
like, but this is boring. So like, at least they could strip it back, put new characters. They can do very similar things, but it can feel really different.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this series is going to stand out from the rest just for the sheer fact that Josh and Emily and Candace as a grounded main cast are three engaging, relatable characters.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't relate to Candace. I'm not an infant, but
You have the
she
mind of one.
yeah, sometimes, yeah. I collect stickers like an infant anyway.
I loved when they fed her candy.
That was, yeah.
Prank War. That was another really good one.
Prank
because
War was good, yeah.
Allie loves pranks.
Oh,
It's
really?
like she loves pranks. Like one of her favorite things is her fake dog poo. And for ages she would put fake dog poo on my pillow and be like, Tice, Franklin pooed on your pillow. And I'm like, oh no, really? And then one time when I was working away, I put my boot on and she'd had it sitting in there like all weekend.
Oh,
And I put my boot on just before I got into the job, and I was like, "Oh,
I love like a almost harmless prank that took a lot of like prep work.
yeah,
You so we me and Josh recently trekked up to our mate Simon's place in Newcastle.
down."
Depending on how you look at the globe, I suppose.
No,
My world's upside down, mate. Oh. Anyway, we trekked down to Newcastle, and Simon, whose house we were staying at, he left to play golf. I don't know, do something.
the classic Smitty.
Classic Smitty, and he left his clothes on the line. So we were really drunk, so we just decided that it'd be fun to diagonally put all these clothes on the line. So instead of going line to line, they went diagonal across. Took legitimately 20 minutes, and he didn't notice till the next day. And we never mentioned it or brought it up. But yeah, I do love a secretly harmless prank that takes
Yeah.
way too much commitment.
And just seeing her just like click with the candy, and just like wow, like that was just. It was just so good. I loved that.
A really good representation of what a toddler can be sometimes. Just
Yeah.
an uncontrollable tornado. Also, when Candace in the last episode, which I want to go really deep into, to be honest, but the last episode where Candace is dressing up as Denzel Washington was legitimately had me in stitches.
Have you seen Training Day?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
why it's so funny.
That was one of the first like R-rated movies I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah.
The first R-rated movie I ever saw. Man, I was such a pussy for so long, though. Like, I only started watching horror movies, like, this year.
Yeah, wow.
So R-rated. I don't
Training
know.
Day is like, yeah, pretty heavy. I don't think my parents would have let me watch it if they knew.
It's a good
I was,
movie, though.
I was in primary school. I was a kid.
Oofed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you.
It's awesome though. Really well done.
It is a good movie. So we've kind of talked about characters a bit, but I wanted to know who is your standout? Who's your favorite character? Who you putting up there as your guy / girl? It's tough, right?
Yeah, I know. Because they all like, they just work as a show. Like
As a group, yeah.
yeah, you pull one out and the whole thing collapses. I
Yeah.
would say my favorite side characters were the clowns.
Oh, the clowns were good, actually. Yeah.
Balloon animals out of their dicks.
So good. That's a dog. No, it's a giraffe. Wait for it. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Matthew Mercer's also a voice actor in this show.
Yeah, he's the son.
Oh, Randall?
Yeah.
Oh, he is too. Matthew Mercer pops up in everything. His voice is like white noise to me at this point. If you have ever played a AAA game, you've heard Matthew Mercer for like 30 hours. Jesus Christ. For me, I struggled to go past a more likable and relatable character than Josh.
Yeah.
There's something about that man-child really speaks to me for some God knows reason.
Yeah, I really like that he did that. It's so close to home for him, obviously.
Yeah,
because
this feels
he has a daughter about the same age.
This feels like a real personal project.
Yeah,
Which
and-
is, it's weird. Why did he only do 8?
I'm pretty sure it would be. to
It's
test
been
the
renewed
waters.
for a second.
Because this, I remember hearing about this being in development for so fucking
Oh
long.
really?
For
This came
so
out of
long.
this came out of nowhere for me. But I suppose if more finger on the pulse. Yeah.
I've been so excited for this to come out
Hmm.
for ages, and then it did, and it was 8 episodes, and I was like, oh my god! I bet he's got another like 16.
I would think so. Well, it's been renewed.
Yeah.
But you were the first person that got me onto the show. I'm pretty sure you dropped a trailer in the group chat day one. You were so onto this one.
Yeah, man, I've been looking forward to it for ages.
And I can see why. It definitely feels like something that, you know, as everything I know about you, this show would speak to you the most.
Yeah. Yeah, I just love it. It's just really good. Yeah, like the man-child thing as well too. Like, yeah. And just, yeah, trying really hard and not being the best at being an adult.
Preach, brother. Trying really hard and not being the best as a parent.
Yeah.
Oofed. Preach.
Yeah, I love the bit where she's like, last time they forgot about me, I got ice cream for dinner. So they'd hoped that I wouldn't remember, but I did. And the teacher is really cool. This like liberal, like left wing, new age.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, here at Chamomile, we.
That school environment is something that like it's kind of a hack joke now, and I thought it was a really hack joke before my kids started like primary school.
Yeah.
But oh boy, is that right on the nail on the head! Like that is so accurate. It's not funny.
I showed Amber the Cool Mums episode first.
Oh,
And
that
don't mind her, she's a rescue.
Cool Mums episode was amazing.
They're the single moms. Oh my God, should someone put her out? No one can help her.
Oh, single parents, man. Shout out to any single parents out there. How you doing? Drop me a line. I just need to know you're okay. I don't know how people
Your
are doing
poor
it.
wife, basically a single parent of 3.
Yeah, she's raising 3.
Yeah.
She has a 6-year-old, an almost 6-year-old, an almost 2-year-old, and an almost 27-year-old.
Yeah, I have a almost 7-year-old and an almost 26-year-old.
I'm fully toilet trained though, so as of this week, yay.
Amber's mostly toilet.
Do I need to put a sheet down on my lounge? Something that's been that I don't know if it's bothering me, but it's a question that was basically the first question I wrote when I started watching this in my notes. And it's, how do you feel about this animation style, and are you sick of it yet? Because it feels like every new like cartoon has this style, and I'm getting pretty sick of it. Even Big Mouth looks a bit like this. This kind of
How fucking dare you?
really
How dare you?
you're not sick of it?
No. There's 3 things that look like this, and there's 3 things, yeah, and only 2 of them are similar. There's Flapjack, Regular Show, and Close Enough. Everything else is it's different. Big Mouth is totally different. It's totally.
Did you watch Hoops? Hoops kind of reminded me of this as well. Another Netflix series.
No, I'll have to look it up.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm burnt out on this style already. Well, there's just I've watched so much Regular Show.
I feel like the style I'm more sick of is like Gumball and Gravity Falls and that.
Yeah.
Like with the big mouths and the big eyes and everything. I think Big Mouth is a pretty fresh character design, and I think Close Enough is just like, this is just what it looks like. This is just, yeah.
Well, Gravity Falls and all that seems to be a lot more softer edges and circles and all that stuff, where Close Enough and all this is it's sharp edges and thick lines.
How can you think Hoops looks anything like this?
I don't know. They all just kind of look the same to me now. I've watched them all, and they all just
You're
kind
just
of
too tuned into. Hoops looks more like Rick and Morty.
Hoops has the dude who did the voice acting for Spider-Verse. He's also on New Girl. He has the most vanilla white guy name. I think it's like Matthew Nick or something like it. It's insanely white guy. I'm going to look it up because I might be offending people also. I just googled hoops, and of course, I just got hoop earrings.
Yeah, that's
why was
exactly what I went through.
Well,
that.
what-
Netflix at the end.
what did I think? It's Jake Johnson. That's so white guy.
Do you know any Jake Johnsons?
Yeah,
Yeah, same.
I was going to say it's the same Jake Johnson. Jake Johnson, if you're out there, I still don't forgive you for what you did to me. Nah, you're right. It was my own fault. I was young and immature and didn't know how to properly handle drugs. It sounds really sketchy now. I don't want to clarify it because the story's way better already, just not clarifying it.
Yeah, I like to do things like that.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? So yeah, so you're not sick of this animation style? You're happy with it?
No
Yeah,
way.
fair enough. And I can see where you come from on that point because
As I think most people listening have probably gathered now, like I love cartoons. I'm
yeah.
a cartoon guy.
I think you are the official cartoon guy of the podcast.
You know, not something I intentionally tried to do, but it's not something that I'm unhappy with.
So what we've got you, the cartoon guy. Jason's probably the anime guy. He's been here for the most anime ones. John's anime as well and manga. Josh is Josh. Yeah.
He's the Josh guy.
He is the Josh guy.
He's the talkative fella.
Oh yeah. I've got probably one last question for you, buddy. So you've said you want more from this series. You want another another season.
Yeah.
What do you want Quintel to work on next? This feels like his big pet project.
Yeah.
What do you want him to see next? What do you want him to do next?
Because
Because he's done 3 series in this kind of vein of this is his probably most adult, definitely.
Yeah, definitely the most adult. Like,
Do you want him
there's
to
not-
stick with adult? Do you want him to go back?
I
Or?
would like to see another adult one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. The things I loved about Flapjack were that it never got stale.
Yeah.
But the thing I hated was that it's 3 seasons. Like I loved regular show.
How many seasons in regular show?
Oh,
It's like
I
6?
can't- There's heaps. It ends amazingly.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I haven't watched the season final yet.
Yeah. It
I should-
gets. Yeah. It's like a good. It's like 4 full episodes, I think. put
Wow, like
together.
a 4-parter.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like
I love a good 4-parter.
It really, really hits good climax, but I don't think many people saw it through to then.
Yeah.
Because it did, like, it gets stale where you're like, oh, we've gone into the freezer and the hot dogs are alive. Like, you can't keep doing that in the same format over and over again.
There's only so much surreal you can do before it's just boring.
And Flapjack was just different because it was already, like, it didn't start normal. It was always surreal. But yeah, I would like to see him do something like this again. I really would. Like I think he's an amazing writer.
So I was thinking about this basically all week that I've been watching this, and I was doing a bit of research onto Quintel and looking over what he's done previously and this, and saw that this got renewed for a second season, and I think likely we'll probably get a third season.
Yeah.
I feel like this will probably carry on for a few seasons, but after this, I'd be fascinated to see what Quintel could do with like an animation as well, maybe a different style, same style, but something a bit more serious with a structure.
Yeah.
So less sitcom-y and more a continued storyline.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't want to say this because I fucking hate this, but I kind of want him to see him do something a bit Rick and Morty-ish.
Oh, okay, so it's like there's a big development going up each season. With
Yeah.
like foreshadowing of
Just like a more continuation of a storyline, but a bit more not serious, but more structured, I suppose.
Watch the latter half of regular show.
Yeah.
Because it does that.
Does it?
It really becomes more like there's, oh, and look, this character came back, and oh, this thing actually happened, and this has affected us multiple episodes down. But like I said, I think he was just getting a bit burnt out by that point in time. But like it does do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see him less bound by Cartoon Network's format, because this is obviously going to be like it's with Netflix as well, but
Yeah.
it's like
Well, it was Hulu exclusive in the States, and Netflix got the worldwide distribution for it.
yeah, and I think it had been working on for a while, and I think Cartoon Network needed someone else to help pick it
Yeah.
up. I would like to see him not have to do something in this exact time structure.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm sure that there's jokes that have had to get left out because they're like, oh, that's going to make it run 30 seconds over. I would
It's
really,
tight too, yeah.
and that's the thing. He does the 11-minute episode so it can fit into the 22 or whatever minute block that gets split into half an hour with commercials.
Loved the return of the short 11-minute episodes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I loved about
so
regular
good.
show and Adventure Time. But yeah, I would love it so that he could make one that's 15 minutes long. Like, so it doesn't. I really like that is a thing now that streaming is becoming more and more the way that people watch, like they digest media. I would like to see the time constraints shifted.
yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it definitely feels... it's weird how now that streaming is such a big idea, there's still so few, shows that play with the time limits of episodes.
Yeah, Big Mouth did.
Big Mouth did, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they still seem to fall into
Most
those
things have
neat...
to, yeah.
Which, yeah, I suppose it's just the thing. Before we start wrapping up, I really wanted to go deep onto the last episode.
Commercial television.
Ugh. Screw you, Murdoch. Hot takes. Rupert Murdoch, bad guy. I really wanted to go deep into the last episode because I think it's... Oh, man, I don't know if I hate it. I don't know if I love it. I don't know if I'm just going to get Dogman tattooed on my chest. Like, I don't know. It was... It was Dog boy. It was insanely. It had so many references to things that I loved because
so much Jim.
oh man. So I don't know if I'm ashamed. I think I'm not ashamed about how many times I've seen certain Jim Carrey movies. Do you remember Ashley, my cousin?
Yeah.
So for like a weird 2-year period, me and her only spoke in Ace Ventura quotes.
I remember you quoting Ace Ventura a lot.
So much.
Yeah.
And The Mask, like I've watched
Booker
The Mask.
quoted Ace Ventura quite a bit too. Captain's logs.
Don't get me started, man. It's like I'm 5 years sober off Jim Carrey quotes, man.
Yeah.
I got the chip and everything. I did my 12-step program, buddy. Yeah. But yeah, that last episode was wild, and it's the only 22-minute episode in the series.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your thoughts
Weird
on
Al
that?
Yankovic making a little cameo in there. It's awesome as well too.
Honestly, smacked me up the side of the head. I was like,
he's Banana Man from Adventure Time, the neighbor.
I think I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like half banana, not a banana guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Weird Al. Yeah, it's awesome. I love the imagery of the demon. And I pierce my heel with a narwhal skull and summon the music god of... Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Like I was the same. I was at the start, the first watch through I've watched it, I was like, oh, what the hell is this?
It's so left of center compared to what the rest of the 7 episodes leading up to would have been.
Some of those animal hybrids were fucking hilarious.
Oh, mate, snake boot. Oh, and the little reference to is it Breakfast Club at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How they, do it
Mate, watching that and the highlight reel at the end where it just kind of give you a catch up on what all the animals are doing now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like tears.
Yeah.
Like at the deer that becomes the professional hand model.
Yeah.
Oh,
I loved just the hand on the back.
oh, so good. Cougar backhand.
Yeah, that one.
But
Forget about me.
and all the Cable Guy reference, like all the Jim Carrey references were great. But yeah, that series, I don't know if it's because Dogman was so off-putting. Dog Boy was so off-putting.
Yeah. That's
Really-
what I really like about this animation style because things look so fucked up. That's what when you watch Flapjack, you're like, oh, those kids, like that shit is hard to watch.
Is it like super Uncanny Valley and stuff like that? Like,
yeah. There's an episode that you have to watch. There's like Flapjack gets a little brother and it's
Yeah.
a duck, And if anyone has seen that, like, just let me know that you have, because that dark haunts my fucking dreams, man. Like, the little brother that he gets, it's like, it's fucked. Yeah, and I really like that. Yeah, like, there is so much uncanny valley. You're just looking at Dog Boy like, ugh.
Yo, it's off-putting.
Yeah.
But also, like, really funny. Like, legitimately very funny. All the writing in this series it's so good. And it feels a bit kind of riffing, like a bit off the cuff, but also like super well toned, like tightened and stuff like that. Like
definitely.
All the writing in this is well, it's great.
Being a writer's room on this would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it feels like all the writers were parents too. Like everything in here that's parent related is so on the ball. It's not even funny. But also, you don't have to be a parent to enjoy this. I feel like it's universally kind of it's just great.
Well, Odin, like a mate of ours, shout out to
Odin.
Yeah, he was telling me that he was watching it and like he liked the post. I think he was excited, and he's not a parent. And then Luke, shout out to Luke if you ever listen. He's not a parent either, and he thought it was hilarious. So, it definitely doesn't have to be, but it just adds something to it if you are. Yeah,
it's definitely the cherry on the sundae of awesomeness that is this. It's a lame metaphor, I'm aware, but I'm going with it. I'm sticking with it, digging my heels in. So final thoughts, man. I think the only question I have left in my notes is Tyson Thompson. T. Thompson.
T.H. Thompson.
T.H. Thompson. Thompson. Thompson.
Thompson.
Thompson can close enough get it.
It can fucking get it.
It can get it, mate. God, this series can get it.
I'd sew myself to this series.
This series can get it. So yeah, we'll leave it there for the week. It's been a fucking ripper of an episode, Tayo.
Yeah,
always love having you in here, man.
I always love coming in here, man.
We're gonna have to get you back on real soon because we've got some really fun stuff in the works.
Fuck yeah.
So as always, guys, socials at Lords of Dorktown on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Make sure you go and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Fuck, it makes a big difference, and we'd love to see it. And we'll start reading some of those out soon. Also, you can email the pod at lordsofdorktown@gmail.com. Yeah, keep it dorky, guys.
Keep it dorky, guys.
Peace.